Welcome back to Edgemont Elegance, everybody. It is Monday, September the 15th, and we are here to check out and see what's been done on site over the last, it's probably been about a week and a half since we were here. I know one of the things that's been done is the masons have finished doing the chimney around the corner here, which is pretty cool, so we're gonna go check that out right now. We also have tile going on inside. Let's stop talking about what's going on and go check it out. Come on, let's go. Behind us, you can see the chimney is completely clad in stone, which looks amazing. Even though, of course, it is not a wood-fired chimney, it still kind of looks like one. And I think it's just a really, really cool architectural detail. Kyle was just asking, you know, is this gonna work the same? What's going on here? So there's a gas fireplace on the main floor, and the vent for it is coming out the top of the chimney. So, I mean, in essence, it's gonna work similar to a chimney, but in reality, that vent could be coming right out at the back of the side here, and nobody would be none the wiser. This just looks really cool. Okay, so the masons have been painstakingly making their way around the perimeter of the house. We've got, I'm gonna say we're about 90% complete the masonry work here. It's looking really good, they just gotta get finished. So see what happens there, but I would think by the end of the week, we should be more or less done with the masonry, and we are hoping to actually, it is gonna be a little bit of out of order, but we've talked to the client, we've educated them, we've had them sign off on it. They would like to get the painting done on the exterior before winter. So here in Vancouver anyways, exterior painting pretty much shuts down mid-October until mid-March, sometimes even mid-April. And the reason being is it's just too cold and too wet, mostly too wet. And so we just don't have enough dry days. Even with the overhangs and whatever else, you can't take the risk of having a wind-driven rain event happen and have it damage your paint job or your siding. Like, it's just not worth it. You know, if you can find a painter that will paint for you between October 15th and March 15th, don't hire them. Okay, so here we are at the detached garage at the back of this property. So, you know, really nice detailing here where we've actually got this masonry going the whole way around the house. I'm really loving this electrical outlet detailing that we've used for the masons. I think it just looks really, really slick. And again, coming back here, you gotta excuse the mess. We're gonna have to throw a bunch of people here to get things cleaned up. But nonetheless, we've got masonry stopped back here. So obviously decision was made, no need to have stone at the back of the garage. Who the heck is ever coming back here? Now, what we do have here is a meter base for the future electrical for the house. And then this is for the low voltage here. Right, I mean, stuff that we were looking at, we've got siding here, we've got a kick flashing at the bottom here, we've got soffit in, so, you know, garage is looking pretty good. It's pretty much ready for paint on the outside anyways. Now, one of the things that did have to happen last week is this fascia. And the fascia is the white wood that's going up to the peak like that. For whatever reason, the batch of fascia that we originally got just cupped, and cupping means like the wood kind of does that so badly. It looked awful, so we had to replace it. Must have just been a bad batch. Like, I mean, the bottom of the fascia board was pulling away. It looked pretty atrocious, so get that all fixed up. And then coming through back here, unfortunately, or fortunately, we've got a lot of stuff on the go right now and just weren't able to get any people here on Friday to get this site cleaned up. I really do prefer to see our sites be immaculatized at the end of day every Friday, just so that it looks nice for the neighbors in the neighborhood. So back here, we believe there's more masonry that's gonna wrap along here, along this wall here, which is gonna get a cap flashing eventually. And this is all gonna get clad in stone. So should look extremely cool very, very soon. Okay, so here we are in the foyer. We have got the unfinished front door here. So this is a beautiful vertical grain fir door. It's still got to go to the stain shop and get stained. So this has got to get picked up, taken to the stain shop. We do all of our door finishing off-site. I just find it yields an infinitely superior result than trying to do anything on-site. I love the dentaling here. This is just beautiful, beautiful details. And this wood, incredible. You know, one thing that I learned when I built my first house a long time ago, fir is a sapwood, if you didn't already know that. And so as a sapwood, it actually has to have like a sealant put on it to prevent the sap from pulling through, right? You can't just go and stain and then put a clear coat on a fur door. You actually have to put something, like it's some sort of treatment, and I honestly don't remember what the name of it is. I just know that you need to do it to seal up the grain so that those sap can't suck in. So who would have known, except I did, and my first front door did not end up looking so awesome after the fact. So we've got tile in the mudroom. I'm assuming this is probably safe to walk on, but I'm not going to take any chances. You can also see that the hardwood floor installers are here, and they are getting the plywood all ground down and ready to accept the floor leveler. So this is all looking good and ready to go. Kyle was just asking what this is about. So this is a temporary panel, nothing more, nothing less. So we've got wire coming in from outside, and that's how we're powering the house right now, because we're waiting for hydro to hook up our permanent service. So we've built a number of these, and what it allows our trades to do is have lots of different places to plug in their equipment. It can be moved around, so it can be mounted here, it can be mounted on the wall over there, it can go pretty much anywhere. So that's what that's about. Now, the other thing that's been happening is we've had our carpenters are on site getting all of the crown molding in. So that is looking really good. Nice tight joint. Actually, you know, I'll tell you guys something that I was just talking to Glub about. Depending on where you live, but here in Vancouver, it's fairly humid. And so what happens is if you leave MDF outside, it will suck in whatever humidity there is outside, and it will actually expand. Now, if you install that material into a home without acclimatizing it first, what will happen is once you've installed, and you could have done a perfect job of it, once you've installed that MDF material that's been inside, it shrinks. And over a 16-foot length, it can shrink as much as 3/8 of an inch. So you get massive gaps in your joints. Like you could have taken the max time to make everything perfect, but if you don't acclimatize your material before you work with them, you can really run into some major bad results. So making sure that your interior temperature conditions are static and solid, super important. Tile setters have been working. They have been getting some wall tile in. So again, it looks like we're doing some marble wall tile here. So we've got marble floors, marble wall tile. Should look divine once it's all done. Again, we've got spacers, and these are really cool spacers in that you drive these wedges in. So these guys actually sit in behind the tile, and then you drive these suckers in, right? As you can see here. And what that does is it pulls the tile flat. So when you run your finger over it, everything is nice and secure and tight, and you don't have gross lippage. And this also acts as your spacer so that you get your 1/8 of an inch between your tile. Cool, eh? So we've obviously got tile going on in here. This is looking really nice. This is going to be gorgeous detail. I actually really love seeing wall tile outside of just the shower area. Having it kind of encapsulate other areas of the bathroom, it just makes it look so much more high-end. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. What a cool detail. And here we've got the guys trying to figure out how the crown molding is or isn't going to go. So I can see there's some consternation about there being the gritty membrane all the way to the ceiling. So, I mean, that's, again, that's why it's so important to figure out all of your details first so that everybody's working towards the same end goal. I think what we kind of landed on is that the crown molding is going to come through the shower area, but we're going to have it kind of project in and go on top of the tile. But I believe we're going to be talking to the homeowner this morning, actually, about what detail they want to see in their bathrooms. Let's keep moving. We're down in the basement suite here, and we have got interior doors that are being installed right now. And so, one of the things that I'm always looking for with our installation is that we have equal reveals, right? One of my major points of frustration with a lot of the door manufacturers in the Lower Mainland, and I just don't know why it's such a challenge, but they rarely give these doors to us so that we have the same gap between the door and the jamb at the top as at the side. I mean, one of the things that I'm always looking for is to make sure that we have a consistent reveal between the door and the jamb the whole way up and down the door. And then here, right, we're looking to see that the door, see how the door stays closed, right? If it's hinge bound, it will kind of stay open a little bit. We don't want that. We want it to close nicely. So that tells us that this hinge is sitting correctly, right? If it's hinge bound, that means the hinge is kind of getting flexed out, and that can just happen in the jam if you put your shims in your door wrong. That's an issue. The other thing that you'll find on Sprucehill projects, and that's what these bits are here, is we use ball bearing hinges on all our doors. And the reason we do that is because we don't like our doors to squeak. So yes, they cost slightly more money, but they also, they track beautifully. Like this is a solid core door and it just swings effortlessly. So the other thing that you can look for on a Sprucehill project is we are gonna put a trim head screw through the jamb at each hinge. You know, I've also seen guys put 3-inch screws through the hinge to make sure that the hinge doesn't pull off or pull away. We found that putting a screw at each hinge works very well. So that's what we do. But obviously you can put a screw through the hinge as well. I just find that doing this is a quicker and more efficient way of doing it. And I honestly think it yields the same result, honestly. You know, might it be slightly superior to have a screw going through the hinge? Yeah, but it can also cause a whole bunch of problems. And problems like what I was just talking about having the hinge be hinge bound, trying to get it just so. It's quite a bit more difficult to get the hinge screw to work the way that you need it to, as opposed to setting the door and just putting a trim head screw through your jamb. So the painters will come through, fill those, and you'll never know that there was a screw there. That's a wrap on today, everybody. Listen, thank you so much for taking the time to check out our content. If you are interested in doing a renovation or building a beautiful custom home like this, give us a shout. You can reach us on our phone or on our website. We'd love to hear from you and figure out how we can be your partners to success. In the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe. And hey, thanks for watching. Stay awesome, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye now.